Just two buffoons with soothing voices. It's Vibin' with Braden and Michael.
People think this is a 10-second talent on Snapchat. They start like this and they go up, over, there.
What? Wait,
and they're like, I can turn my hand down, face down, without turning my wrist. And they think it's a 10-second talent, but it's not.
Oh,
it's
I
not
see.
It's not talent, though.
I don't think it's a talent.
I learned
but
it in
it's
2
kinda
seconds.
Cool. Yeah, that's kind of cool, though. All right.
I learned it in 2 seconds.
Good for you. So.
Can you hear us both perfectly well?
Yeah, can you hear us both?
Are any of us too loud? Either of us?
Perfect. So we like to
I hope
hear.
he's right.
Me too.
This episode is sponsored by Pet Wellness Center of Southern Illinois. Do you have a pet that's in need of veterinary assistance?
Or
Well,
wellness.
Go to the Pet Wellness Center of Southern Illinois.
They specialize in
Dr.
wellness.
Nancy will fix your pet up.
All right.
She fixed our dog, kind of. Trying to. She
It's
will.
Free, it's free clout, by
If
the
there's
way.
anyone that'll get it done, it's Dr. Nancy.
That was free clout.
Welcome, Nancy.
Yeah, you're welcome. All right. So what are we talking about first?
Welcome to the podcast. I'm your
Ethan.
host, Braden, and today I brought on a special guest that I've known all my life, literally.
I'm Ethan. I'm his brother. I'm his older brother.
Mm-hmm.
It's true.
First on the itinerary, we did the intro.
Nice. Doing good.
As you guys can tell, we have kind of a theme for the episode. It's pets.
Oh, yeah.
So first
Let's
off,
get it.
since you're my brother, I found a BuzzFeed quiz. Face, please. And then we also have some questions on this paper. We're gonna start with the paper.
All right.
Who is the most laid back?
Who do you think?
I think you are.
I'm definitely most laid back.
What does that say? Bossiest?
Bossiest.
Me.
Yeah.
Patient. Pickiest.
Pickiest eater.
Your handwriting is not that good. Pickiest eater. That's obvious. It's Grayson.
Yeah. What about between me and you? Me, probably, I guess.
Yeah.
I guess you eat a lot more than me.
He
more
doesn't
stuff.
eat a lot. He eats like 3 things that my mom makes.
It's true.
Who sleeps the most? You. Me. You sleep a lot during the day, mostly.
It's great.
Who eats the most? I'd say me, because you don't eat a lot
Yeah,
anymore.
at this point, I don't eat a whole lot anymore. I eat like one meal a day.
Sneakiest.
Me.
Yeah. Most sensitive? That's a tough one. It's definitely not you.
I was gonna say it ain't me.
It's between me and him.
I think you're the most sensitive, most sensitive.
What do you
Grayson.
think? Mom says Grayson.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then Daredevil, that one's obvious. That's you.
Yeah.
And then cleanest, that one's also obvious. That one is me. You can do the rest of the list.
All right. Who's the loudest?
Him. I
Oh,
could
oh,
hear
wait.
I could hear you outside today. Like you were in your room and you were screaming and I can hear you outside. You were kind of sounded like a dog, so I was a little confused. But it was
Heather?
coming from the house and it definitely wasn't Heather.
Dang. Was I ever that? Sorry, I was never. You always heard me when I was down here.
Yeah.
When I lived in this room.
You used to be the loudest because, well, you were the loudest because you were closer to us. We were up there, right up there, and you were right here screaming.
True. That's true. Who's the most dramatic?
Well, I would say Dad, but he's not our sibling. Heather's the most dramatic. She is
Honestly,
a flippin'
stick a needle in her neck. And like, all of a
sassy.
sudden she gets. Yeah. All right. We'll talk about that later. By the way.
Yeah.
Who talks the most?
That's foreshadowing.
That's a good one. I don't even know.
The thing is, you don't really talk to people at all now, do you? Like,
No, I mean just people at work. But I mean like, in general, though. Like, who would talk to people the most?
Probably. Yeah, probably. I would say you.
Yeah. I mean, you got a podcast though, so
I would
you're
too.
obviously
Like if
you're
it was
decent
just
with-
me and Grayson, I would talk way more. Like he wouldn't talk. He would be
Well, I
like.
don't know though. He had that one podcast and he was pretty decent at it. I thought he's pretty
Well,
good at.
he knows Nicole.
True. Yeah, that's true.
So if he like doesn't like know you and like
Yeah,
hang around
it's a lot
around
easier if you know the person.
Yeah,
All right. Who will take care of mom?
probably me.
I
Or
mean,
Grayson.
Yeah,
It's me.
I mean,
Sorry, mom.
I would not take care of you.
What if I died though? Like what if I wasn't there to take care of her?
Well, then I got it. I'll do it. I guess.
I
Just kidding.
I
Good
guess.
Who would who would help out a body?
You.
Me. Yeah. Who's the funniest?
That's a tough one.
Who do you think is funniest? Cause I mean,
What do you say, mom? You're the tiebreaker.
hey, let's just throw it back to when I said trash bags had handle.
That wasn't you trying to be funny. Okay, I guess it doesn't say that who tries to be the funniest
just
and it
who's the
succeeds.
funniest.
It's,
If you think about it, the funniest people are the dumbest people. That was a dumb thing to say, so it was funny.
and trash bags do have handles now, apparently.
Yeah, I saw one. They have handles. I knew it.
I'd say it's a tie.
All right, who'll give mom gray hair?
Grayson.
I think you will too.
Yeah.
I don't live here, so I can't give mom gray
Yeah.
hair. Music preferences? I mean, you already know mine. I listen to straight hip hop all day, every day.
Grayson, I don't know what Grayson listens to. It's kind of interesting.
EDM. I bet it's like EDM, dubstep, Skrillex.
On the bus, I look over at his phone, and it's really random. He like listens to Mario Kart level music.
It's just last
He
week.
also listens to like I don't even know. That's all I've ever seen him listen to.
What about you though?
Recently I've been listening to alt rock.
Alt rock?
Yeah, like Green Day and
Really?
yeah, The Offspring. I quite like it.
Alright. I like that.
And then our
Something
final
else.
question is who's the weirdest?
Yes.
And for that I have a BuzzFeed quiz.
Let's go.
So I put all of our names in, Ethan, Grayson, and me. Which one of your siblings likes Halloween the most?
I don't know who likes to dress up the most.
I'd say Grayson.
Yeah, I never really actually
He's
liked to
kind of the
dress up.
most recent to like dress up for, I don't know.
Yeah.
Who is more likely to stay in the room when parents have company over? One of you two. I don't know which one because
it's a tie between. Well, I mean,
I
Mom
can't
would make
pick
me
two.
come out of my room, but they would know that Grayson won't come out.
so
So,
I'll choose Grayson.
yeah. Even though I would.
Who would totally
Definitely.
send this text? Do you think aliens wear swimsuits?
Me, dude.
I'll put Ethan. He would send it to
I
us.
think aliens were swimsuits.
Who makes you laugh uncontrollably? Sorry, but that's Ethan.
I'll take it.
Who laughs at things that make little to no sense to everyone?
Yeah.
I like to think I do too, but Grayson raised his hand first. The most indecisive person? Me. I'm very indecisive. I'm indecisive. You didn't know that. Who's more likely to bite into a string cheese as opposed to peel? Grayson's the only one
Yeah,
that eats string
you're
cheese,
right.
so
Well, do you peel it or do you just eat it?
I bite the top off so I can get something to peel.
There you go. That's
But
what
that's not unusual. I know people who do that.
That's what I do.
Which sibling thinks they're the most normal?
Me. I
You
think I'm the
you're
most normal,
You're kind of an interesting person. Who do you think, Mom?
Even like in my group of friends, I'm the most normal. I'm not
All right,
I'm not
we'll
as
put Ethan.
dumb or weird as some of them.
Who is most likely to embarrass you in public?
Like sibling wise,
Yeah.
probably Grayson. Cause he's had some temper tantrums.
Well, he's not a kid anymore. Like,
Yeah.
he's not a little kid anymore. There's that. Okay. So, who's most likely to embarrass you in public? What were you saying?
No, I don't know. I guess I mean if we're talking now and not like.
Yeah, we're talking now.
I mean, I would do it on purpose. I would do something on purpose just to embarrass us.
I will tell you that Grayson kind of, no offense, used to embarrass me in public. One moment that I'm specifically thinking about right now is we were in the IGA parking lot Mom was in IGA, and it was me and him in the van, and there was a train. He's like, I'm going to throw up. He opens the van door, and he throws up in the IGA parking lot. And I go in, and I try and find Mom, but I go out, and she's already there. I'm like, what?
Bro, so you ran around like
And he threw up. That was a traumatic, time. I think the next day I went to the movies with a friend.
You were just like...
But in the morning of that day, she, brought mini donuts, and I ate those. And then I went to the movies and had a big bucket of popcorn, and I threw up in the in the movie theater bathroom.
Oh, God. Dang, I've never heard that story.
Yeah. That's what I kind of haven't told anybody.
Yeah, what movie were you watching?
I think it was Rio 2.
Can make you puke, man. A lot of colors, a lot of
It was green.
stimulation.
And it had girls
Here,
in
get
it.
out.
Who's more willing to take fashion risks?
Me?
I'd say
I wear
Grayson.
the plainest stuff. Look at this, dude. I'm wearing a hoodie,
That's not a
sweatpants.
fashion risk. What did you say, Mom? Ethan?
I guess so.
We'll put Ethan
Maybe
down
in the
there.
family, I guess, because I wear more I don't know, older, hip clothes.
There's only one weirdo in every family, and this quiz will tell you which sibling it is.
Who is it?
And the weirdest sibling in this family is Ethan.
Nice. How am I the weirdest? I thought I was most normal.
That's the thing. You think you're the most normal, which makes you weird.
I mean, whatever.
What's next on the itinerary?
Pet stories.
Pet
Like-
stories.
Like
Okay.
the ones from the website and stuff.
Yes. You can go first.
Can't really find any interesting stories, but there's some pictures of an eagle dropping a bat into the ocean to torture it. He just picks up with the bat and drops it in the ocean.
Nice. I have a story.
Good. Let's hear it.
It's about ducks and geese. So, a little while back in France, there's this duck farmer, and this duck farmer had a neighbor who didn't like the ducks because he thought they were too loud. So he took him to
Quack.
court, and
Took the ducks to court?
he took the guy to court. I don't know if he could take the ducks to court.
There's just like 2 or 3 of them just sitting there in the front row.
They have suits on. They're like,
We'll
these
bring
are
the
my
first-
3 representatives.
Bring the first witness up to the stand. Sir, have you been quacking lately? Quack.
Quack.
Are you gonna stop anytime soon? Quack. He's guilty.
I'll take that as a no.
There's geese in the jury. They're like
Yeah.
guilty, guilty or not guilty. Quack.
Yeah, the court said, and I quote, "The ducks can keep on quacking." And the duck owner said, and I quote, "I'm very happy because I didn't want to slaughter my ducks."
What is
Kind of
that?
a
It's kind of messed up how they were
Yeah.
gonna make 'em- Your ducks are too loud. You gotta kill them all.
so ducks can keep on quacking. Happy ending.
Found another cooler-ish story.
Mm-hmm.
It's the jaws of a 330 million-year-old shark found in a Kentucky cave.
Whoa.
Don't typically come to mind.
Kentucky.
Paleontologists working at the national park uncovered fossils from around 150 sharks, representing as many as 20 distinct species. Dang.
Jeez.
Alright. Well, some weird animal stories, I guess. If you
Animals are weird creatures, but we love them.
think quack a
Some
lot.
of them. Next on the itinerary is about Heather, so we're gonna bring her up here on the table. So, for those of you who don't know who this is my dog Heather. She's 14 years old. She's 2 months younger than I am. That's pretty cool, you know. We got her when I was 5, I think.
Remember the
Scott-
first night
Con-
she was around our house?
Yeah. I
Did we
think
feed
there
her a
was
cheese
there.
case? Did someone feed her a cheese quesadilla that night?
I have no.
I
I, don't
swear,
remember
I'm pretty
that.
sure someone
I don't
did.
remember those details. And got her a couple years back. Didn't really have any problems except for her oral hygiene. Her teeth were still kind of bad back then. Not as bad as they are now. Or should I say were? Our Dr. Nancy was the one who cleaned her teeth recently.
She's not gonna fall off the table.
and she and she said her breath is so bad it could knock over a horse.
Dang
Her
right,
breath was very bad,
we live with her.
and I can tell Dr. Nancy that she was 100% correct. Her breath was so bad. What are you doing? So that pretty much segues into all of Heather's issues over the past few years.
She's getting old. She's an old lady.
Very old. 14 years old, and that's like, let me do the math. I have a calculator.
It's a lot of years.
Don't do your brain math. 7 times 14. She'd be 98 in dog years. That's pretty flippin' old.
Yeah, you are pretty old.
But
Almost 100.
they say smaller dogs age slower than big dogs.
Makes sense.
So big dogs, they'd be dying right about this time. I think she's got maybe 1 more year left in her.
Maybe.
Hopefully.
Anyways.
Anyways,
Then the pit bull will be on the way soon.
last year, I don't really know when it started, like how it started, but I was going upstairs, she typically follows me around the house. I'm more of her person. So I was going upstairs and she starts going up the stairs, and about halfway up she yelps. And she stops and she's like curling kind of up in a ball like she's about to poop. And we didn't know what was wrong.
You dummy. Can't get. Oh my god.
And I asked Dad, well, did you take her to the vet? And he's like, yeah. They put her under because the pain was so bad they couldn't even touch her. So
Dad even got her in the
she
car.
was asleep. Yeah, I don't even know. And she was there for a couple of days. They did like these laser treatments. Apparently, one of her like spinal discs slipped out of place or something. I don't know.
Oh yeah.
So they did this laser treatment. She's like, she's gonna feel like she's on top of the world, but she's still not healed yet. So we had to make sure she wasn't all like jumping around the place. So we tried to conceal her like in the TV room. That was interesting because she was also high on something. She was like. Then this year, well, after that, nothing really happened. Then this year comes around very recently. Her breath is like really bad, as
Thank
we
God I
told you
haven't been here to smell
before.
it.
So we took her to the vet to get a teeth cleaning because my dad was like, I can't stand it anymore.
Can't do
It's
it
just
anymore."
so bad. So, took her to the vet, put her under. They took out some teeth because they were so bad. So,
Gross.
and then they cleaned her gums and the remaining 4 teeth that she has. Because she already didn't have front teeth when we got her. I don't know how that happened exactly, but so she has like 4 teeth, but they're sparkling white now, and her gums are actually like pink instead of brown. You should have saw
like
them.
black and brown. And
The
nasty.
little nurse lady had pictures, and her teeth were like brown, and so were her gums. And then the teeth they took out are like they were flat and like kind of almost in her gum, and they were black.
Ugh.
It was disgusting. And then she showed the after picture, and it looked like a fresh, clean.
Brand new mouth.
Yeah, with only 4 teeth, but that's okay.
Have
She
you
can
noticed?
still eat.
Have you noticed any
Oh.
breath smelling still?
No. Wow. It's been 3 weeks.
We've been trying to cure that for like 8 years.
Yes, and she used Crest 3D White.
Crest 3D
Another
white strips.
sponsor of this episode.
Crest 3D white strips. For
We
dogs.
actually have 4. Little did you guys know. We're sponsored by BuzzFeed, Pet Wellness Center of Southern Illinois, Crest 3D White, and we'll get to the other one later. So we take her home, Well, actually, we don't take her home. Apparently, she has her kidney levels are high or something like that. So she's got something wrong with her kidneys. She stays the night, I think. And then we go back the next day. We go and get her. we get this special kidney food. We get like 5 cans.
Kidney food.
She's also loopy because they put her on an IV pain meds, and those sedate her.
So she was just like laying there.
Yeah, she was pretty. And then they also gave us a whole bunch of pills, an antibiotic. Actually, wait, the whole bunch of pills comes later. So they gave us an antibiotic and a bottle of her pain meds. Which is an interesting story because we go home, and we have to give her pain meds. I think it's before bed. So the nurse said, "Oh, just stick it in her mouth and squeeze the syringe and she'll just have to swallow it." No. So Dad, he grabs her by the neck and he kind of tries to put the syringe in. Her mouth is still sore from her surgery, so immediately she doesn't like it. Then he pushes it in, and apparently it's so bitter tasting that she was like it was the worst reaction I've ever seen her have. It was so bad. And she was like drooling, like foaming at the mouth. It was horrible. And
pretty bad.
She's just a drama queen.
Yeah,
she's also spoiled.
Voted
rotten. Yeah, so that's the first story. The second one is trying to get her antibiotic. So first off, it's this little capsule, and it's got the powder in it. So first we tried to, take apart the capsule and mix it in her food. Apparently she could tell it was in her food because she wouldn't eat that entire week. And we also think it might have been the canned food they give us. It did not look very good. It didn't smell very good.
Ew.
It just wasn't very good. So, yeah, so she didn't really take an antibiotic. We had to, put it in ham or something. I don't really remember. But it's getting better now, Well,
Ish.
eating-wise and pill-taking-wise. We found the 5th sponsor. So, basically, we found, they're in the bag.
They're in there?
So, a family friend of ours, told us about these because she has lots of dogs and they don't like taking pills either, as I imagine most dogs don't. So she recommended we do pill pockets, which is basically a soft peanut butter cup thing. It's like a peanut butter cup, but just peanut butter with a hole in it. So you can put the pill in it, and then you pinch it.
Pill pinch give.
Pinch it, and then you can give it to her, and it's just like peanut butter. That did the job. She ate those up.
Never know the difference.
So these were the first step. So she could take her antibiotic now, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, also she doesn't chew, so that's a good thing. I don't really know how to explain it.
So does she, swallow food whole all the time? Oh my god.
I guess she's adapted to it.
She's got to be like a freaking snake now.
I think she also mushes it with her tongue in the roof of her mouth.
Oh yeah.
If it's something hard, she'll try to.
That's really what snakes do. They just swallow for
like a whole pig.
They swallow for 3 hours, and it's just.
So yeah, so the antibiotics are so she doesn't get an infection. So now she won't die of an infection, Dad.
Hopefully.
Then we take her back, and her levels are still off. They're still not good. And she won't eat her food. So they took the food back, and now we have to give her. Mom has to make her own food. So it's like homemade human food, and she'll actually eat it because it's human food and not dog food, not canned dog food.
It's got real meat in it.
So it's just rice, ground beef, and an antibiotic, and some no sodium salt.
Nope.
Which doesn't make sense to me because
salt.
it's not salt.
It's like gluten-free gluten.
But they say it's salt, And yeah, so she's been eating that. She's kind of stepping away from it. Also, during this, she got really skinny to the point where you could kind of see around
looked like a
this
malnourished-
area.
yeah, you
You
could.
could see kind of her ribs. So she's kind of back to eating one meal a day. We fed her 2 a day for a little bit.
Try to.
And then my dad comes back from the vet with Heather with a bag of fluids.
Mm-hmm.
Huh?
Oh God, they're in there.
Oh yeah, and he comes back with this whole bag,
These are needles.
needles, and just to get you an idea of how big these are. This is my index finger, and this is how big and thick these
Those
needles
are
are.
fat little needles.
He's like, they pumped her full of fluids today, and we have to do it every day around the same time. So he's got a bag. He's got 2 bags. He's got one with all the fluids in it, the bags of fluids. And he's got this thing, the cord attached to another bag. And he's like, you have to give her 200 cc's a day. Also, I'm leaving for Vegas tomorrow, so I'll be here today to show you how to do it. And then you're on your own.
What?
And we're like, what the crap? So, he shows us. It goes pretty smoothly. She's a very, very good girl. She doesn't really, she notices that it's there, but she doesn't yelp or anything.
She's like tensing up.
Yeah, she just kind of like, what? When we pump her full of the fluids, we just stick it under her skin. We don't have to stick it in her veins or anything. So we kind of grab the back of her neck where there's
neck
extra
fat.
skin, and they call it a tent. And when they pick up the tent, there's like this little door is what they call it. So it's like when you pick up the skin, it like wraps around right where you're picking it up. And then there's a little like crevice.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
And then you stick the needle in there. And then to make it go faster, you squeeze the bag. Yeah, so that went well. It kind of looks like she has a tumor though. When we're
neck's like-
done, it's like weird because she
And it
walks around and
moves
she
and-
turns her head and it's like.
Yeah, it like moves on the back, like the water. It's gross.
It's so nasty.
What?
Yeah. So, we do it smoothly the first day. Dad leaves for Vegas. It's our turn. It's just me and Mom this night. And my mom's like, let's just get her at a time when she's really relaxed, she's comfortable. So, originally I'm on the couch and she brings the bag over. Heather obviously notices her because she's like paranoid and superstitious. I don't even know. She's like crazy.
So
She has
weird
like
happening.
spidey senses. She's like,
Well, she can't she can't hear, so then
yeah,
she just uses
her
spidey
other
sense.
senses are up because she can't hear.
Just
So I
fun
really
editing.
do think she has selective hearing. I really think she just hears what she she wants to hear.
Heather, don't do that, and she's like, Can't hear you.
I'm deaf. I fooled you guys into thinking I'm deaf.
you know your game, dog.
We're smarter than you.
She's like, oh, these people think they're smarter than me.
They think I'm sleeping. I'm actually plotting.
We're gonna come back and she's gonna come back in like 5 years with a whole army of dogs to just
Yeah.
take over the world.
Honestly, I wouldn't mind that. I think dogs are the greatest. Anyways,
I don't even
where were we? Oh, me and Mom on
You
her
were
own.
yeah.
So, she gets down from the couch, starts walking around, lays back down on the floor in front of the couch. And I go down there. Mom comes in with the bag, and she tries to get up and get him. I'm like, no. We're just going to get it over with. So, I grab her. I'm sitting my back against the couch, and she's in my lap, and I'm kind of just holding her so she can't move. Mom comes down to the floor, too. She's got the bag and the needle.
Yeah,
This is not a 2-person job, by the way. We figured that out. And she set the bag down and she grabbed the tent. And she's like, I don't think I can do this. And then she didn't do it. And then, I was watching Rhett and Link at the time. And she interrupts my video and she's like, look up a video. Can we watch another one?
Let's do it.
And we watched another one. It was the same thing. She's like, I think I can do it. So, we're back to square one.
Right.
She's back in my lap. I'm back against the couch again. I'm holding her. She's back with the bag and the needle, saying, I can't do this. And she's like, I'm going to do it. Boom. She's like, it's in.
We made contact.
I'm like, then she starts to squeeze, and the fluids are really flowing now. And she's like, whoa, what's happening? She doesn't like that. And she tries to jump out of my hands.
Oh, God.
So she's like, jumping up on my arm.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm like, oh, crap. So I panic, take the needle out, and it's still flowing, and it squirts all over me and the ottoman and the floor. And Mom's like, close it. So she hurries and closes it.
Oh, God.
It was pretty bad. She got a teensy bit in her.
Just a little bit.
And so we're like, you know what? We're done for the night. Yeah. Next morning, Ethan comes. Ethan's kind of in the front, like holding her face and talking to her, comforting her. And I'm holding her body so she can't move her body. Mom does it like she's a pro this time. She's not like panicking or anything like, oh, I can do this. So the needle's in.
The whole time I was singing Three Little Birds by Bob Marley.
Yeah, which is completely unnecessary, but I mean, I guess it was working.
She was calm at
Singing
first
to
when I was
Heather.
singing it.
Then what happened?
I remember we stuck the needle in, and she kind of like she was just tensing up.
Oh yeah, she tensed. And
And
she kept trying to look at what Mom was doing.
Yeah, the first day it wasn't that hard because she would just tense up.
So she's got like big tumor. It's like on the right side of her neck this time, and so she's like
Slosh.
it's like pretty bad. And Ethan's like, ew, oh my
It is
God.
so gross, so gross to look
It
at.
is. Every time we stick her and we take the needle out, with closing this before we take it out, she always squirts a little bit of water from the hole that we put in her. It's pretty nasty. I got a lot of fluids on me last night.
Oh.
The next morning,
I was there again.
Ethan came back.
I remember we came in and we were about to do it, and I don't know, the way Heather was walking around, she was just like
Heather was just hyperactive that day.
Yeah.
I think we gave her one of these, which really just teased her, made her more hyper. She's like, oh man, that was good. I need some more to fill me up. So, we get her on the table. I'm holding her. He's holding her face again. And she's hyper, and she's immediately trying to get out.
Before she was sticking the needle in, she was like moving her head,
she
but
was
like I
already,
could still hold on to her. And then when Mom was about to stick the needle in, she was just like no.
Yeah, and she almost jumped off the table.
Like 3 times.
Yeah, so I just put her down, and it was a fail.
Mom
She
took
ends
her
up
to the-
taking her to the vet,
Yeah.
and apparently it was like easy peasy. Like she did it like it was just a day in the office. She got her fluids. I come home and I notice she has a tumor, and I'm like, did you pump her fluids? And she's like, no, I just took her to the vet. I was like, oh, okay. And they only charged us for the water. Thank you.
Gotcha.
Thank you, Pet Wellness Center of Southern Illinois, for only charging us for the water. My dad was in Vegas this entire time.
So we had to get an Uber for the airport because he's in a big city, Las Vegas. Had to get an Uber.
Well, apparently
Part of it at least.
this lady, she was in a Dodge Caravan. Apparently it was pretty crappy, according to my dad. And when he sends the request, she was at the McDonald's drive-thru, apparently.
Had to give me a McGriddle.
Yeah. And my dad gets in the car, and she's like, you got me a McDonald's drive-thru. I'm so hungry, I gotta get me a McGriddle.
Wasn't she talking about how she had like blood pressure problems?
Yeah, she had to eat food with her blood pressure medicine
But
that she
eats
was taking.
McDonald's.
Yeah.
A
Which,
McGriddle.
I don't even understand
I had to
this
get
lady.
McDonald's with a side of my heart medicine.
And apparently she was very talkative and sang along to songs. And one of the songs that was playing was Roxanne. Thank you for coming on the show tonight.
thanks for having
Kind
me.
of last minute. I texted him last night, and I was like, "Hey, you want to be on the podcast tomorrow?"
Yeah, we'll go to 10.
It's kind of funny. Don't forget to take your pets to Pet Wellness Center of Southern Illinois. See Dr. Nancy or any of the technicians. Technicians, is that what they're? Any of the vet technicians that are there. They're all so friendly. Their service is great.
Good people.
Totally check him out. Check him out. Thanks for coming on the show.
Yeah.
Peace
thank
out.
you.